Now let me tell you a little bit about myself so you understand where I came from. In 1994, I got saved. Prior to 1994, I was a professional heathen. Full-time, I don't know what place you were talking about, but I was probably there. You know, whatever place we're not supposed to know about, you know. That's probably where I was, all right? And my wife would take me home before she was my wife, and I would be in a ball just drooling on myself. Because I was so drunk, so on pills, so on coke, so on everything, I couldn't even get out of it. She'd send someone into the bathroom because I would just go in there and pass out at our fraternity lodge. And she'd take me home. I mean, a wonderful image to have of your future husband drooling all over himself. Whereas my wife was a great church mouse. And why? I mean, God's merciful because He sent a wonderful woman to help lead me to the Lord.
Amen.
And in 1994, I went to, my wife was Baptist, and I was from the background of Baptist and moved way far away from that. And I went to her church for a while, and nothing against Baptist, that just didn't minister to me. I was listening to, you know, AC/DC, Led Zeppelin, you know, Jimi Hendrix, and at the Baptist church they did have guitars and drums and all these kind of things, and I wasn't getting into it. But I went to a church, her sister had married a UPC, a Apostolic Pentecostal, which is no buns, makeup, and all of that. Well, she wasn't going that far, he wasn't going Baptist, so they met at Baptist-costal. We went to an Assembly of God church, right? It was me. Hardcore Pentecostal and, you know, Baptist. So we went to a Baptist-costal church. Well, it was enough costal for me that I hit the deck. That day, the preacher preached, hell hot, God good, and I hit the deck. And instantly, I was healed from drug and alcohol. Instantly.
Amen.
And
Glory! Glory!
And at that point in my life was the lowest point of my life. I mean, how lower can you get? Broke, drooling on yourself at a frat party. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what further depths of low were, but I'm glad I didn't get to experience them. But for me, that was the lowest point in my life. That lowest point was this, where I'm standing, this floor. Well, on that day, in May, in 1994, I had a large amount of change in a short period of time. First and foremost, my spiritual address changed, right? From hell to heaven. Right, I got a new postal address, which was really good.
Amen. Glory.
That's the most important one. Right? Changed the address. Didn't even notify the devil I moved. I just left. Left in the middle. Left with all that stuff.
That's good.
And I had a large amount of change in a short period of time. And guys, I'm kind of one of those persons that just, if I get a taste of something, I want all of it. That's why I was a drug addict, not a drug user. Right? I was an abuser. I was addicted. It had me, I didn't have it. And when I got a hold of Christ, I wanted it all.
Amen.
I opened the church, closed the church, prayed in the church. I mean, I was there I was a pastor's dream. I was washing toilets, doing Royal Rangers. I mean, I was there all the time. Sin some. Let me lay hands on something. I was a pastor's dream. I was on fire for the Lord. Amen. I was going after it. And please understand this, I'm going to frame all this up. But from 1994, the day I had a large amount of change in a short period of time, to 2004, I only had this much change. Now, in the scope of from here to here, this much doesn't look like a whole lot, does it? I had a small amount of change over a decade. I had a large amount of change in an instant. I wanted more of that. Because this was wearing me out.
Amen.
Because by around 2000, I began to be introduced to other books and tapes outside the Bible. I mean, once I got saved, it was the Bible. And the beauty thing was, I didn't have any religion. So what I read, and Jesus said it, that's the way it was. You lay hands on the sick, they recover. I didn't have all the Pharisees and the Sadducees and the board of directors and the wearing me out on that, right? So we went to Brownsville Revival all the time. I went down there and studied. I mean, I was nuts. I totally blew out all my family. I mean, we were over the top. I mean, we'd go to Thanksgiving, and I mean, we just prayed for 30 minutes over the dinner. Somebody got the turkey was going to get saved. Everybody out of the water. I mean, we were on fire. And so that's just the way we were. And so right around 2000 or so, all of this energy, all of this zeal, I was blowing out my marriage as well. And I was realizing I'm going to blow out my kids. And I didn't know what was going on. So my mother-in-law, they at least can come up with one good idea, right? So this was her one, I credit her. She gave me the book, 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now, I know Steve Covey's a Mormon, so, okay. But 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Because I didn't know how to do a budget, didn't want to do a budget. I didn't know how to be scheduled, I didn't want to be scheduled. I didn't know how to be proactive, I didn't want to be proactive. I enjoyed being me. Ignorance on fire. And point me in the, I'll make something happen in some direction, but it won't be organized plans. It'll just be happening. And so I started studying this, and it began to teach me, wow, you mean there's books and tapes and information out there that can help transform and impact my life? Well, guess what I did? I went nuts. For 4 or 5 years, I bought every book. I'm a book junkie now. I went from alcohol addictions, and now I can't walk into Barnes and Nobles without having a flashback, and buying books left and right. And I'm still a junkie. It's my number 1 addiction. I got a huge library, spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on personal education, seminars, books, tapes, audios, and everything. But I still only produced this amount of change until 2004. Lots of investment, lots of effort in the church and in studying multiple things, and yet only producing a short amount of change. And I was coming to a pain threshold. Anybody know what a pain threshold is? You're done. Something has to change here. Something has to break. You see, I got introduced to Kenneth Copeland in 2000 and Jerry Savelle and all these guys, see. Before then, I didn't know I was supposed to be rich. I mean, I was in a church, maybe God will heal you, maybe you won't, depends on what mood he's in today. You can ask for like air, food, basic, sackcloth, but don't ask for nice. Don't ask for a nice car. That's pride. And so, I mean, I'm like, part of me has always been an entrepreneur. And I'm like, I want to be rich, but then I don't want to be evil. And so I'm in all of this. So when I get introduced to Word of Faith in 2000, I'm like, that's what I read when I first got saved in 1994. What did we do? We moved to Texas. What is a person like me going to do? Go hog wild, move to Mecca, right? I mean, just go where the source is, right? And so we moved to Texas, right? And immerse ourselves in this. Now that was in 2000, just a few years ago, 2006, we moved to Texas. We tried to move in 2004. But anyway, long story short, we moved there and got immersed in this. And it totally transformed my life. I began to really realize all these things are going on. Yet, as much as I was burning up the carpet, man, I had Leroy Thompson audios going, money cometh, man. I was calling money cometh, Ephesians 3:20. Now, God will do exceedingly abundantly above all I ask or think according to the power that working within me. And I call for businesses, I call for finances, I call for this, I call for it. Man, I was calling for everything. I mean, I called everything into existence. Me and God, we created everything in my living room. Right? We were paying the bench, right? Going for it, right? Yet, I was in that gap. I was calling it up, and certain things were happening. Enough was happening to keep me going, but nothing like what I was confessing. Nothing like what was going on, and I'm still having problems with my marriage, with myself, and other things. And all along comes 2004. And I was blessed to attend an event that is experiential learning by experience. It's a seminar, but you can do it in church, you can do it anywhere, you can do it at billion-dollar corporations. And the idea of experiential learning is that we all have these. Now, I know you don't have any of these, right? Did you come with your BOSO classes? And I did not pick these up in Orlando, even though they are quite sold here, I know. We're all born with a set of glasses. Nice, huh? Make your mom proud to wear these. Speaking of mama, imagine if my birthday is January 5th, 1971. Bouncing, happy baby boy comes out of my mother's womb with these on. Now, women, I heard women, oh my gosh, painful enough. No, thank you. No knives, no guns, no glasses, nothing. Just a kid, police, no foreign objects, right?